Hello and welcome to Music Shack Podcast. This is episode number 46. This week we're joined by myself, Bruce,
Ron,
and Ed.
All right.
Anything we want to say before we get rolling?
I don't think so.
All right.
no, I don't think so.
There we go. Happy Pride Month.
Oh, yeah, that.
Oh,
Yeah, let it. I thought of something to say.
There you go.
at least one of the three of us thought of that.
All right, Ed, since you had the thought, why don't you start us off?
All right, we'll start off with the Billboard artist charts. At number 1 is J. Cole. At number 2 is Olivia Rodrigo. At number 3 is Dua Lipa. At number 4 is Drake. At number 5 is Nicki Minaj. At number 6 is The Weeknd. At number 7 is Ariana Grande. At number 8 is The Black Keys. At number 9 is Alan Jackson. And number 10 is Luke Combs. 2 names I was not expecting to see on there. Black Keys and Alan Jackson. But
I was surprised to hear Nicki Minaj was on there.
good on them. She just dropped an album. I pretty much expect her to be in the top 10 when she drops an album. She's got a big fan base.
When was the last time she dropped something, though?
Is last week.
No, before that. Shut up, Ed. You know what I meant. No, you literally know what I meant.
Oh my god, you fucking got him.
She went on a bit of a hiatus. She claimed that she was
went-
going on retirement for a little bit, and then
That's right, I
dropped
remember
a
that.
record. She dropped a record in 2018. So it's been a couple years.
I remember that. I remember seeing people talk about it's not retirement if you come back 2 years later.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm kind of over the whole. I mean, I realized from like artists that are like way up there in age that are still putting out new music. I don't think you can retire from making music if you love it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's not a job. And I feel like to get to a certain status, it has to be a love thing. It can't be just for the money. Because I feel like if it's for the money, you're here and then you're gone. And I feel like in order to have a lasting career, it has to be more than just money.
Yeah, I think that's why a lot of newer artists tend to just like, kind of fade out after like 1 or 2 records.
Yeah. So like, shit, I got money. Fuck it. I don't need to hit the studio.
Right. Or they'll at least just fulfill a contract, get the money out of the contract, and be like, all right, I'm done.
Yeah.
All right. Well, looking at the Billboard Hot 100, as a new entry at number 1, we got Butter by BTS.
Butter.
Number 2, we've got Good For You by Olivia Rodrigo.
Oh, butter, good for you.
Butter is good for you.
Yeah,
You're going to have deja vu in a second.
Do they butter the...
Do they butter the bread with butter?
You're going to have some deja vu if you find out about that.
Oh.
Because number 3 is Deja Vu by Olivia Rodrigo.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never
almost.
sound up a better joke than that.
Yeah, I thought you were
No.
setting up a better joke. Yes, I agree with Ron.
I'm sorry, my jokes are just shit right now.
It's all good. It's all good.
And then
It's early yet.
Number 4, we got Levitating by Dua Lipa. 5, we got Leave the Door Open by Silk Sonic.
Maybe I'll close it.
I wouldn't suggest it.
At 6, we got Peaches by Justin Bieber. At number 7, we got Save Your Tears by The Weeknd.
No, I'm letting them all out.
Oh, God. At number 8, we got Kiss Me More by Doja Cat.
Later.
At number 9, we got Traitor by Olivia Rodrigo, because you are a traitor.
Seriously.
And at number 10, we got Astronaut in the Ocean by Masked Wolf.
Hey!
Oh!
All right.
Generally how I feel after a hybrid. Carry on.
So for the Billboard 200, we have a new entry at number 1 by Olivia Rodrigo with Sour. Number 2 is J. Cole with The Off Season.
Here.
New entry at number 3 is 21 Pilots with Scaled and Icy. Number 4 is Morgan Wallen with Double Album. Number 5 is Moneybagg Yo with A Gangsta's Pain. Number 6 is Pooh Shiesty with Shiesty Season. Number 7 is Dua Lipa with Future Nostalgia. That album has been going strong.
I mean, she dropped it 3 times.
But this is the original one.
I know.
It's ridiculous.
It's a good album.
Apparently.
I enjoyed it.
New entry number 8 with from 42 Doug with Freedom Boys.
That's a good album.
Yeah.
Yes.
Number 9 is Justin Bieber with Justice. And number 10 is Pop Smoke with Shoot for the Stars, Aim for the Moon.
Yeah, that dropped. Remember the one week I was like, there's plenty more albums I want to talk about?
Okay, yeah.
That was one of the albums I wanted to talk about, but I didn't want to waste all the space.
Gotcha.
Like, so yeah. Want to say the best album of the week for last?
Who had the best album? Because I don't know that answer.
That's a hard one to answer, really.
I did not realize that. Okay, then. We'll just roll whichever way y'all want to roll.
Why don't we start with Bruce?
Oh, okay. Well, as you could probably tell last week when we listed off upcoming, I got really excited about Perturbator, so I brought you Lustful Sacraments by Perturbator.
This was good.
Yeah.
I loved it all the way through.
I love the dark ambience, along with like 80s-esque rock lace, well, rock pop kind of lace through it.
Yeah.
I really didn't have any standouts, but like I did enjoy that.
Like the whole thing felt like it was kind of a... I mean, it's kind of just the thing I feel with synthwave most of the time, but like a dystopian future that hadn't progressed further than what we already have now. Not like the cyberpunk where everyone is a robot, but we've gone back in time because technology's been destroyed.
Yeah. James Kent, which is the guy behind Perturbator, he actually when he did an interview with Apple Music, and he told him that the whole album is a love letter to old school goth and post-punk.
Ah.
So that's very much why you get that dark, brooding feeling from
Yes.
That makes so much sense now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely got goth vibes off of a few of the songs, so yeah.
I gotta say, the one that I went back to the most is Death of the Soul. I like that one the most.
That's a good one. I liked Excess.
That was also a good one.
But, yeah, solid. 9 songs. For 9 songs, it's pretty lengthy, too, just because a lot of them run like 5 minutes or so.
And then
electronic, so what do you expect?
And then the last two run 7 and 8 minutes.
Yeah, so. But, yeah, I have no other standouts or really anything else, other than it was solid. It's a very good album. Can move on to Ed. Stick with the synthetic feel.
All right. So I brought you guys Bugsy Malone's The Resurrection, an album that's been teased to drop 4 or 5 times.
Here it is.
Here it is.
It's finally come out.
Who would have known that official charts was wrong? And in Hip Hop DX, believe it or not.
Right.
Anyway.
How many weeks now?
Yeah. But
Probably about half a year.
It finally dropped, and I heavily enjoyed it. Like, I love Bugsy Malone's storytelling ability. Like it.
Except when he tells the same story in 3 songs in a row.
Yes, I do wish he spaced out the first 3 songs, because while it's about his motorcycle crash and the trauma he went through, and I feel like that's important, should be told. Getting hit with it 3 songs in a row kind of
kills the mood a little bit.
Yeah.
It brings you down. But yeah, no, lyrically I thought this was really well put together.
Yes.
And I like when rap does intellectual lyrics.
Yes.
It's something you don't see often enough.
Yeah.
Like, I gotta say, for that, one of the ones that stuck out to me was Van Gogh Effect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that one a lot.
Yeah, where he tells like the story of his childhood. Like,
I like the
crazy.
intro to that one too.
Yeah.
The intro to that one's nice.
Welcome to the Hood, where he's like
That's a good one.
That was a really good one.
very conscious, very exposing, And what I think is nuts is hearing his stories. Like, the stories that he tells are very similar to the stories that you hear here in America of people growing up in like those style neighborhoods.
It just shows that we're not very different than anybody across the pond.
Yeah.
Even though it may seem like that culturally.
Yeah, I never knew things. Yeah, I always assumed England was less dangerous than America, but
No, depending where you go,
yeah.
it's about the same. You just don't hear about it all. You don't hear about it as often.
Well, yeah, because they're all the way on the other side of the world. Like, they probably don't hear about all the crazy shit that happens here. Like, they hear about it, but they probably don't hear about it as much.
Mhm.
Right. They probably get it through the same way we get it through the music.
Yeah.
I mean, one line that I remember that
They also don't have
hit it
mass
hard.
shootings over there, though.
Well, that's because guns are not legal.
As readily available.
Yeah.
Yeah. But one line on pertaining to that as well that stuck out to me was him saying you don't have to be a soldier to hold a gun over there.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
just thought.
And it didn't feel too long either, because it was a good, lengthy set.
Yeah, it was 52 minutes, but it doesn't
Mhm.
feel like 52 minutes when you listen through the whole thing.
No, it
Mhm.
doesn't.
Um,
And it's 15 songs. It doesn't feel like it's 15.
yeah, one of the standouts for me on this was Notorious, featuring Chipmunk. Bugsy Malone and Chipmunk had one hell of a beef. It was a good beef. Like, I actually,
Was it actual beef, or was it just for the numbers?
the beef,
Because there's a difference.
so, a lot of times, like, you know how beef here is, like, personal. Somebody actually did something to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Over there's a genre of rap known as grime, and Bugsy Malone called himself the grime scene savior, which is something that Chip used to sit there and put on his back, and so did a large group of grime rappers, but Chip took offense to Bugsy Malone and doing it, and they went back and forth, and one of the better rap beefs I've listened to.
Yeah.
As far as quality of diss tracks, they were good. Like, I wasn't when they started beefing, I was a huge fan of Bugsy Malone because of his storytelling ability and his, amazing in-depth and heartfelt songs. I actually became a fan of Chipmunk from listening to Chipmunk and Bugsy Malone just go back and forth song to song. Like, it was nuts. But yeah, it was great to hear them both on the same song. Yeah, good to see that everything's cool. But yeah, what is it? Angels at
Angels is good.
yeah. Well,
Mm-hmm.
at
I
the
like
end of the song where he thanks everybody for, waiting patiently.
Yeah, I heard that and I was like, wow, I feel like this is a direct message to Ed right now.
It's like, I realize this took forever, but here you go.
Yeah, I was waiting on it.
You reminded us every single week.
It's like it still hasn't come out yet. But you're gonna get it when it does.
But
So
yeah.
lo and behold, here it is.
Yeah, altogether great album. So
And then there's mine,
yes,
which was Dark Echoes by Eminence.
yes, the album that I was going to say should be saved the best for last. This is the album I was talking about.
Ah,
Shocker, I know.
Right.
weird, because
yeah,
I was also
it's-
kind of thinking of that one.
It's solid.
Eh.
I don't think I have a standout too much, but Bjorn features on the first track. Like, the fact that you have Bjorn on your intro track, like, there's something to be said about that.
What I loved about that intro track, that first track on the album, was the chorus where you had somebody singing and somebody screaming in time with each other.
Yeah.
Like, it was like, I was like, whoa, this is a different take on what I'm used to hearing. Like, I'm used to hearing somebody scream through the, because I listen to a lot of metalcore. So I'm used to hearing people scream through the verses and then sing through the chorus. Hearing someone sing and somebody scream parallel to each other, it was like, whoa, this is dope. This is different.
It's good layering.
Yeah, and they were in time with each other in it.
I liked how bouncy the album was. For it being like straight up death metal, it was bouncy. Rhythmically, it was fun.
Yeah.
So,
I don't tend to enjoy this type of metal. Anytime normally I see death metal / black metal, I would go, this probably isn't for me. find something else to listen to.
So I'm 2 for 2 then.
So yeah, no, I actually heavily enjoyed this album. I got it saved in my library.
There you go. My upcomings for the end of this week are going to be interesting. Nice. But oh, I didn't know. Ooh, okay. I'm going to have a hard time figuring out which one. Oh, I know what we're getting from Bruce. I'm peeking ahead.
All right.
But
Well, I already know what I'm giving you guys.
Oh yeah, I could look. It's on my list.
I've been looking at it for weeks.
It's on my list.
So we want to get an upcoming early and then dive into.
I think we
somewhere
need
else?
to. There's some good stuff on here.
All right.
Switch
I've,
up the.
I haven't
the
even looked
structure
at the
a little
list,
bit.
but I already know what I am. I already know when it's coming out.
There's one on here that I knew was coming out, and there's another one here I didn't, and I'm very surprised, very pleasantly surprised that it's here.
What?
And I already see what Bruce is gonna give us.
What?
So,
Okay.
did you find something?
Where are
Oh.
we starting this?
This is gonna be a good week. Why don't we start with Ed?
All right. So, starting off, this is stuff that's going to drop for June 4th. Lloyd Banks is dropping The Curse of the Inevitable.
That sounds like a metal album.
Honestly? Yes. Well, what's shocking to me about this is Lloyd Banks. I haven't heard anything by him for a while. Like, I think the last time I heard him he was with G Unit. Like, well, I know he's been putting out stuff after he left G Unit, but
So it's going back a while.
yeah, I haven't heard anything by him personally. Smoke, I believe it's Smoke Daz, but it's Smoke DZA is dropping Hustler's Catalog. Peter Rosenberg is dropping Real Late. Tech Nine
Okay.
and Hush is dropping the Blight EP.
Okay.
That's the one I'm interested in.
I was gonna say it's Tech 9.
Yes. And then Lil Durk and Lil Baby are dropping Voice of the Heroes, which I'm not too sure how to feel about. Again, this is like an artist that I fuck with
Right.
an artist that I have mixed feelings about their music. So,
Can't hurt to give it a shot though.
nah.
See what it is.
You're... All right, where are we going?
Well, I have a long list.
I'll go with mine real quick then. All right, so Atreyu is dropping Baptize.
Atreyu, yeah.
Thank you. Sorry,
Wow, that was...
that was very fast. Billy Gibbons is dropping Hardware. Crowded House is dropping Dreamers Are Waiting. Hildegard is dropping Hildegard.
Self-titled.
Hey.
James is dropping All the Colors of You. Liz Fair is dropping Soberish. Raheem Devon is dropping Lovesick. Red Fang is dropping Arrows. Rostam is dropping Change Phobia. Wolf Alice is dropping Blue Weekend. Japanese Breakfast is dropping Jubilee.
Japanese breakfast?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I may check that out just because of their name.
And then the one I'm going to have my alarm clock play for me in the morning.
It's Rise Against.
Rise Against dropping Nowhere Generation.
Yep.
Okay.
So, what I have slated for June 4th, I also have a Atreyu one here, which I knew was coming, and I'm going to check it out regardless, because I've heard the singles off of it, and they're good so far. Next is Black Veil Brides with The Phantom Tomorrow, which I am excited.
Ooh.
I didn't know it was coming this early. I knew they were doing one. I didn't know it was coming this early. So I'll be going through some BVB. You guys are either gonna get that or Atreyu. I don't know yet.
Mm-hmm. Carry on.
Boss Kaloid is dropping Family of the Smiling Thrush. Cleopatra is dropping Bummer. Yes.
Okay.
Ed just perked up.
Bro, I'm setting some reminders right now.
Decapitated is dropping the first Damned. Disaster is dropping Churches Without Saints. Flotsam and Jetsam is dropping Blood in the Water. Here's one. The fucking whatever. That's
Hold on.
That's the band name?
yes.
That sounds like they were at a meeting and they were like, all right, guys, what do we call ourselves? Fucking whatever.
The fucking whatever.
Genius.
They're dropping a self-titled EP.
Oh, amazing.
Under the record Born Loser. The record label Born Loser. Hans Grossman, I think. He's dropping To Where the Light Retreats. Paul Gilbert with Werewolves of Portland. I feel like that's paying homage and poking fun at Werewolves of London, but I don't know. That's where my mind goes. I also have Red Fang with Arrows on here and Rise Against. Sepetus with Phantom Indigo. Sojourner with Perennial.
Ooh.
I may have to go through that one.
I think I'll go through that as well.
Trouble is dropping 3 re-releases of their self-titled The Skull and Psalm 9. Van Canto is dropping To the Power of 8.
Oh, God, so much good stuff's coming out.
And Worm Shepherd is dropping In the Wake of Soul. This next
Oh
week's
my
gonna
God.
be good.
It's going to be too much to talk about next week.
We may have a longer one next week. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't normally do upcomings that early, but I feel like we
We're,
had to.
we're just
Wow.
excited.
I mean,
There's so much.
Next week's gonna be good.
Why is your knife open?
Now you notice.
I have the world's most dangerous microphone. What's up with it? Anyway, all I need is figure out how to turn this stand into AK leaning up against it. Anyway,
AK 100 legs.
Centipede.
Anyway,
Shout out to Young May.
Oh my God.
there's also the Of Mice and Men EP that dropped, Bloom,
Yes, there's that.
which is good.
Yes,
It's different too. Like, it's not something I normally do. It's very genty.
but I like it.
Yes, I think it's a great change, personally, and I wanna see if they experiment with that sound a little bit more. Because you still get that that signature sound they have, but there's also gent thrown in, and it's a nice little variety, and I want more. I want to see if they do more of it, or experiment with more of it in different ways, at least. So,
I also listened to Creatures of the Dark Realm by Bloodbound.
okay,
It's actually pretty darn good.
yeah,
Although that might be a bias for me because they're power metal.
right.
Biased prick.
But
You know me, like myself, some Swedish power metal.
Well, the good thing about power metal is they agree not to commit murder.
I feel like I should put that on the Twitter now. Just so people understand what's happening.
right.
Yeah, yeah. I guess that statement without any what's the word I'm looking for?
Context?
Yeah.
Oh, I gave you guys the new Spirit Box single, actually.
Oh shit, I forgot about that
Secret
because you
Garden.
dropped it on...
Literally dropped it Thursday of last week.
Yeah, I was in the middle of driving through a rainstorm when you dropped that.
Like, it literally came out that Thursday, and I was like, I know this is early, but here.
I completely forgot about that because I normally don't check past Friday for the stuff we drop.
Dude, Spirit Box, when that album drops, is going to be up there for album of the year for me. That's not until September. But, holy shit. I want it now.
Oh my god.
That album is going to be insane. Courtney does such a good job at, like, using her voice as the driving force for a song and letting the instruments just play behind her and go and do their thing. And it melds so well.
I just love
Whether
it.
she's screaming or it's clean, I don't care. I love it.
Ah, man, I'm gonna have to look out for that as well because I love it when stuff like that just happens and comes together. Because I mean, it's one thing when the entire song plays together perfectly, like everything fits in. But it's even better when there's one driving force that everything works off of.
Yeah, like,
Well-
she never overpowers the music never overpowers her. The composition is so good. I cannot wait. I cannot explain how hype I am for this album once it rolls around. Like, it's probably going to be the one you guys get.
Like, it's one of those things that not everyone ever thinks about as well when they're thinking about making music. but the producing and the mastering means so much. Like if you get the
Absolutely.
levels perfect, like if you have one thing overpowering something else just a little too much, the vibe will be thrown off just enough where you won't feel it right. Whereas if you get it mastered just right, where everything plays together in the right way, oh my god, it's amazing.
I can definitely say an exception to that rule, I think anyway, was A7X's Waking the Fallen. Because when you go through that, the guy that mixed it in 2003 decided to have the drums super, super quiet, but it still works. So to me, I think that's an exception. But yeah, no, generally, like the mix of a record or a song, if it's done the right way, holy shit.
All right, so before we move, you guys are done thinking, right?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, cool. I just realized I just walked right back in, sat down, and said, "All right, before we go on, just want to make sure there's finished thoughts."
Yeah, pretty much.
While we're talking about albums that dropped this week that we didn't all listen to, DMX's Exodus dropped. It's his first posthumous album. It was produced by Swizz Beatz. One of the songs that I was hyper for, I became not all that hyped for after I heard Jay-Z lay in a softball verse. Like,
Really?
Ooh.
all right, so you think, like, if Jay-Z's writing lyrics for a song that Nas is on, you'd think he would put some lyrical work into it. It wouldn't just be swag, look, I got this, I got that, blah, da, da, da. Nah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a bit of a disappointment.
I was very disappointed. Like, I was hoping that maybe doing a song with Nas, we get like that, like 90s Jay-Z
Get the
who could rap
creative
his
juices
fucking
flowing.
ass off. Instead, it was just, swag Jay-Z.
The Jay-Z that no one likes.
But Nas fucking went off on the track.
Well, that's good
And
at least.
DMX's, the verse that they picked to use for this track, DMX's verse was, it felt like it rode with Nas. Like, it wasn't up to Nas's caliber, but it felt like it worked that way.
That's good at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely feel like on a posthumous album, you want the guy that passed away, or the woman, whoever it is, to be like on par with anybody who features.
Yes.
I feel like you want them to be like the main thing people are focusing on.
Let's see.
Because if not, it's almost like a disrespect in a way.
Yeah.
Hood Blues feels like it was a song that was recorded while DMX was still alive. Based off of things that get said on it and everything. And because, like, DMX says at the end of the song, like, he says the names of the Griselda guys. He says, I forget, he says the shorthanded version of their names, because you got Westside Gun, Benny the Butcher, and Conway the Machine. So it feels like it was a song that was done before his passing. But yeah, Hood Blues was definitely a standout. Bath Salts, even though Jay-Z laid in a soft verse, Nas and DMX's verses made it worth listening to. What is it? That's My Dog, the first song on the album, which I think is why this album isn't getting the playtime that it probably would. Starts off with Swizz Beatz doing the chorus, which is just him saying, "That's my dog, yeah," about 6 to 8 times.
Oh, so typical stream chorus.
So
Gotcha.
yeah, like, be honest with you, if it wasn't a posthumous album, I probably would have skipped the entire album
Yeah.
based off of that. Just
That's the first song?
yeah,
Wow, what a weak ass intro then.
yes.
That's no, you don't want to start
And the
that
thing
way.
is it has the locks on it, which made me hang in. I'm like, oh shit, the locks is on this. So I hung in and I suffered through Swizz Beatz.
Go on,
courses.
That's my dog, yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
he did
no,
a phenomenal. He did a phenomenal job on the beats and everything, because that's what he does. He's a
Right.
beat maker / engineer. Like, he did a phenomenal job on making sure the levels were good and everything, but he did not do a good job on that course.
Ugh. Yeah, no.
And
that's,
I don't like talking shit, but
No, criticisms do where it's supposed to be done. That's just no. If you're gonna have that kind of a weak track, this is what it sounds like anyway.
Well,
if you're gonna
the
have
chorus
something
was weak.
right.
The
but,
track
like,
was good.
I just feel like if you're gonna have something with a weak chorus like that, don't have that as your starting track.
Yeah.
It's not something you kick an album off with. That's
Yeah.
something you put in the middle as like a break.
Yeah. Yeah. It was definitely like a 5 or 6 song. It wasn't. It wasn't a first song. Like.
Yeah. You want to open with something that's gonna hype people up or get them thinking at least.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, it's solid. I'll say
that's
that
good
much.
at least.
Yeah.
I don't think I have anything else. Oh, excuse me.
No.
I went through Mental Cruelty with their new record, which is A Hill to Die Upon. I almost gave you guys this, but it's more death metal. A lot of death metal has been coming out. So, but a lot of it's that weird 90s mix stuff that just doesn't sit right with me. With like goblins screaming the entire time, and it's like, But yeah, basically. But I went through this one, and this one's pretty solid. I was gonna give you guys this one, and I'm glad I didn't, because there's no big standouts for me. Like even the singles didn't really stand out too much. So it's good. It's solid. It's 10 tracks, 43 minutes, and it's typical death metal. But other than that, I don't really have anything else to really note. So, and I think that's it.
Okay.
So we can then move on to intermittent listening.
Yes.
If we so choose to do so.
Yes. What is it? Oh, so today I went on I've been on a huge electronic kick all week. But today I actually found a song that I didn't know existed and absolutely fucking love it. It's Space Raiders by Eats Everything. It's the Charlotte D. White remix.
Okay.
It's like 6 minutes long.
Jesus, that's a remix?
Yes.
Okay. That seems a bit long for a remix.
The bass. Fucking, it's sick. It is fucking sick. But yeah, I don't even know when it came out. Came out in 2019.
Okay.
All right, there we go. Now we know when it came out. But yeah, it was fucking sick. But yeah, outside of that, after listening to the album Ron recommended, I actually ran through While She Sleeps, Sleep Society, and
Architects.
The Architects, For Those That Wish to Exist. And yeah, I'm still finding songs off of the Architects album. Cause like right off there's just so many good fucking songs. Like,
it's hard to have a standout because they're all just so good, like high in caliber.
It's like the ones that like I'd run to. Like I've ran to once a week since the albums came out, so like they don't hit as hard.
Right.
So the ones that didn't originally stand out are now standing out, and it's like holy shit.
Yeah, that's why I like going back to stuff after not hearing it for so long.
Yeah.
Like, which is why I keep saying like I'm making a point to go through other records that I just don't listen to a whole lot anymore, just to see, how it holds up, and they usually hit different.
Yeah, like what is it? Meteor and Libertine? I think that's how you pronounce it.
Yeah.
They both didn't stand out as much to me when the album came out. Now I'm like, holy shit. Damn.
Yeah. I've been in the mood to go through a 2000s kick, and I haven't done it, mainly because I've been working, so I haven't had time to like queue anything up.
A 2000s kick where?
Rock wise.
Okay.
Just because I haven't had time to really queue anything up.
There was a lot of good rock came out in the early 2000s.
Yeah. So I haven't really done it, but I want to. I've been in the mood for it. But I went through some Fall Out Boy with Save Rock and Roll, which is still one of my favorite records to date by them. It's when they started really like going towards the sound they have now, in a sense. Not now, but when they did American Beauty, American Psycho, that type of sound is that's pretty much heavily started in Save Rock and Roll, which is still like I said, it's a fantastic record to go through, and I don't know, I love the whole thing. One of my it's a bunch of singles basically that were just big hits. Like every one of them is a big hit, and that it's because you have My Songs Know What You Did in the Dark, you have Young Volcanoes, you have the title track that features John Lennon, which is at the end of the whole thing.
Can we talk about how creepy that is? My Songs Know What You Did in the Dark. When I first realized that that's what they were saying, I'm like, well,
yeah.
Do they though? And am I okay with it?
Like this also has the Phoenix, the Mighty Fall, Rat-a-tat, which Courtney Love, or Elton John. I'm sorry, that's who's on Save Rock and Roll. Not, yeah, it's great. Did I hit?
Whose noise? Who's noising?
I hit a button.
Somebody's noising.
Why'd you hit a button?
I didn't mean to. But yeah, no, the whole thing is great. So I was there.
Are you good?
I'm perfectly fine.
I haven't gone through a lot because I haven't been in the mood to listen really a lot of stuff. But where else was I? I'm trying to think. I was listening to Slipknot earlier today, like early Slipknot.
Ooh.
So
Like Iowa
and the soft-titled,
Nice.
because Wait and Bleed is still one of my favorites.
I mean, come on now.
Eyeless, Wait and Bleed, Sick, Spit It Out, the good ones.
I actually have a article involving a Slipknot artist that came out this week.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. It involves the Telecaster he uses, and how like purists are kind of upset with the fact that he has dual humbuckers on it instead of a single coil. And his statement was, I play in a metal band from Iowa. I don't make country music.
Right.
I kind of
need both.
I like the look of the telly, but I need the sound of the humbucker.
Yeah. I kind of need two of them. And they're actually working on a new record.
And
Ooh.
I don't
And
have the article saved.
They're trying, according to Corey Taylor, they're trying different things. I don't know what that entails, but they're trying things that Slipknot has never done.
Okay.
And even Clown, who, even though he's no longer in the group, has stated that he heard stuff on the album, and apparently he's never heard Corey in that fashion.
Really?
Yeah, so whatever they're doing, it sounds interesting, and I want to know.
I mean, Corey doing something different. I mean,
Look at his self-titled album. It's a bunch of different stuff.
his vocal abilities are
They're insane.
outstanding.
It's also just Slipknot, so it's like I'm gonna check it out anyway.
Yeah.
But I'm just very curious, like what they're trying, because it's stuff. Apparently, there's stuff on it that they've never done before, and they're doing it on this record.
What blows my mind about Corey Taylor is when you listen to Wait and Bleed, and then you listen to Stone Sour's
Yep.
Looking Glass,
Yep.
and you're like,
Which is a cover, by the way.
this can't be the same person, can it?
Yes, it is.
Because vocally, I mean, Wait and Bleed's a good song, all together, but the vocals aren't.
They're aggressive.
They're aggressive, but they're not. They're not like the greatest in the world. Like they're not.
Well, they're good, but I mean, obviously
They're not as good as he's became.
Oh yeah, no, of course not.
It's nuts how well he's progressed over the years.
Yeah, it's. Like I said, I'm very excited for that. But specifically off Iowa, I went to, because I only had the time to do it at work. I went through with the Heretic Anthem, because the Heretic Anthem, like,
Yeah.
it's one of the better ones off of the Iowa album. Yeah, like I said, I haven't really been anywhere extensively.
I exposed my coworkers to we butter the bread with butter.
Did you play the Hypa one?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Bro, they're like, okay. Like, they're like, all right, it's metal. It's metal.
And I can sit there.
And I'm like, wait for it. And then, what the fuck is this? What? And then it goes right back to metal. He goes, that was the same song? That was the same song?
Yes.
What?
That's when you just smile and go, yes.
I love songs like that where they just have a complete flip on their head in the middle and then they go back, or just flip on their head and just keep going with that the entire way. Because like there have been times where I'd be with my dad in the car and he'd be like, you know, your taste of music is very interesting in how each song is different. It's like, oh no, this has been the same song.
It's
That
it's
mind
insane.
fucks me when that happens. Like, I mean, it happens a lot. Like when you're listening like Bass House, and you're listening to a song, and you're like listening to it, and you're like, okay, and then it just decides, hey, we're gonna dart over to this genre right quick. I know you were enjoying this, you know, house trance shit right here, but hey, it's dubstep now. We're gonna finish it off with a little bit of trap for no good reason.
And we're gonna throw on a spice of two-step.
Yes, why not? Why not?
Why not?
A little Euro step for no good reason.
Right.
Why did you get faster? Who sped this up?
Why did we go to double time?
What had happened here?
I mentioned to you before we started this. I specifically this morning went to 3 Days Grace's Human,
Mm-hmm.
which is their first record without Adam Gontier.
Oh yeah, you're telling me this.
The vocalist they have now is their bassist's little brother. Funny enough, who was the original singer for My Darkest Days.
Okay.
Who are no longer, I don't think they're together anymore because they went on a hiatus and then he joined 3 Days Grace. But it's a good album. Like, it was a good album when it came out. But I don't think anybody was ready for the change because we all knew Adam was leaving. And we all knew who was getting replaced by. But I don't think anyone was ready for the change that happened so drastically. Because when you listen to it instrumentally, it's still very much 3 Days Grace. Lyrically, it's not. Lyrically, it's a mix of 3 Days Grace and My Darkest Days because of who it is. And it's, in terms of, you know, substance, some of the songs are a little weaker when it comes to lyrics, but the context behind all the lyrics is what I think really drives it. Especially now, going back to it, pretty much 6 years later. So it's very different, but at the same time, it's still very them. And I still love every song off of it. Landmine is still one of my favorites. And even like the first one, Human Race. It's such a good way to kick off the album, and it pretty much sets the tone for the whole thing. So I think it's aged rather well, which is odd when you get a new singer that far into your tenure as a group, and you have such an established vocalist. So I think it aged well. Now we gotta wait and see how Outsiders does, which is their 2018 release.
Huh.
So, but like I said, the guitar riffs are just, it's still 3 Days Grace, but the structures are different, and I think that's why it's so odd to really go through. So, Bruce, where have you been?
So, a little over the place as the usual. So over the weekend, it was a lot of heavy metal, symphonic metal, melodic metal, and stuff like that. Starkill,
Metal.
power metal, just all the metals. But
Aluminum.
Just going through the periodic table.
Aluminium.
But just after listening to the album by Perturbator on Friday, I've been on a heavy-ass synthwave kick again. I've been listening to a lot of Perturbator, a lot of Savlonic,
Ooh.
and just letting it shuffle and just going through everything. It's been good. I even went back and played the Roscoe album by them. Good stuff. I love their covers all the time. And then today, I decided to start listening to Patty Gurdy stuff again.
Oh, okay.
So I got back into some like German folk. And then also, actually don't know when this released, but it released recently. Farewell by D. Art Agnon and Patty Gurdy. They did it together. I love the song so much. And it was funny, one of my coworkers came up to me at some point. I'm working by myself at the time. I had my earbuds in so I can just focus on doing tile work. And he just walks in and I'm like, you want to hear what I'm listening to? And of course they're off there listening to just regular rock and stuff like that. Like stuff from the 80s and 90s. And I just start playing that and he's just like, well, that's a good thing the boss is hooked up right now.
Yeah, your playlist is such a wonder to go through.
Oh, it's
Like,
it's always fun.
For how long I've known you, I still am amazed at how much it can jump from one side of the spectrum to the complete opposite.
I still like the fact that I can tell anyone, it's like, oh yeah, I'll listen to anything, and I mean it.
Yeah,
I truly mean
essentially.
it.
Yeah, that almost like drove me nuts. Like being an eclectic and someone being, oh, I listen to everything. Do you?
Do you? I can prove that I do.
Like I have proof. I have a phone right here.
It's like, oh, I listen to anything. It's
Put
like,
it on shuffle, and your mind is going to explode. You have to pick what you want to listen to.
Mhm. Like a lot of the
Otherwise-
times at work, I'll pick specific playlists or specific genres to play because it's like, well, I can't play that around people, and I'm definitely not listening to that because they'll be concerned.
Yeah. It's odd.
I remember working in a mechanic shop and being like the first guy in the shop and just putting on whatever the fuck I wanted. Nobody had any idea what the hell they were coming into. I'd have just, Irish folk music just blaring first thing in the morning.
In a mechanic shop.
Yes,
Because
because why not?
And then next it could have been like some weird,
BB King,
yeah. And then you get
Miles Davis.
it
It's
you
crazy.
never know. You're always on your toes.
Like, whenever I put my playlist of every song I've liked on YouTube on at work, I always have to be careful. I have to be like, wait a second. It's like, I know I have the entire list memorized. It's like, oh wait, this song's playing. I need to go over and make sure it skips this song, and this song, because I can't have those play.
Could you imagine just like, having your house worked on and randomly hearing like Borgore come on?
There have been plenty of times where I'd be working. I'm on the other.
I want to know it's hardcore.
I got to tell you, there have been so many times I've been working. I'm on the other side of the house from the radio. My phone is sitting right on top of it, and I hear like the first two notes of a Searle song, and I'm like, fuck, and I start sprinting across the house because I'm like, I know what song this is, I know what song this is, I know what song this is.
Yeah, you can't have him play.
Yeah.
Like he's
Yeah.
good.
He's
Don't
good.
get me wrong, but like
But you can't be playing MTC around other people very often,
no.
especially when you got the entire trilogy.
Yeah.
Whew.
It's out there.
I gotta say, as much as I've been trying to learn German, I think listening to German music has been helping a little bit, just because I can hear it in a much more organic way than what the computer's just like, ah yes, this is how you say green chair.
Oh, there was an album we didn't mention that you and I know of. I don't know when the release date is, but Ninja Sex Party.
I forgot they were making another album.
Yes, they're dropping another record, which I'm excited
Hell
for.
yeah.
They're a parody group. They make joke music, but it's good joke music.
All right, so
Styled in the 80s,
they're an 80s style Lonely Island.
essentially.
Okay.
But it's funny as hell. They're finally dropping another one, and I am excited for it.
One of their songs from the previous album was heavily inspired by Queen.
Yes.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So, you and I are going to keep an eye out for that.
Yes, we will.
I believe that is everything I have.
All right. We have any news?
I don't know.
Only news that I've seen that I need to try to find it again because I don't know exactly what it was, but it looked like Guns N' Roses is touring again.
Yeah, Ice Nine Kills is coming in September. So I might be. I told you guys before this started. Video games and music, in terms of concerts, I'm gonna go broke this holiday season.
Yeah.
Because you and I have the Hella Mega Tour, Bruce.
Mm-hmm.
You and I have that coming up. September is gonna be Ice Nine Kills, and then there's a couple games coming out that I'm gonna get. So yeah.
So, I mean, there's some depressing news that happened over the weekend down in Miami-Dade. Group of people got shot outside of a concert.
Mm.
Yeah, that had happened.
But
Unfortunately.
yeah, that sucks.
I just don't get, like, some of the shootings that happen in America just...
It baffles me as to why it happens.
Like,
where
yeah,
it
people
does.
who are out to just fucking enjoy themselves. Like, you're just gonna roll up and
it's-
start shooting. Like,
Yeah, like I don't know why.
Like the police believe it has something to do with rival groups in the area, but like,
That's probably. I mean, I can see that being a thing, but at the same time, it's a concert. Why are you gonna ruin everybody's day?
exactly. You're ruining a lot of people's day anytime you kill somebody.
Right. But
But-
people are out. There's a reason concerts exist. Like it's a way to get away from everything, and people can just enjoy themselves and enjoy the music, and then you're gonna do that.
Yeah,
It's a shame.
it really is. Yeah, apparently there's been like 20 to 25 victims.
Yikes.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know. What, 2 dead?
So far.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a problem in America. On to some lighter news, J. Cole is no longer a basketball player.
It was just those 2 games.
No, he played more than that.
Did he?
Yeah, he also like bought his team like new gear and shit. Like,
Okay. So he helped out a little bit.
he helped out a little bit and then said, "Hey,
I'm a go.
I'm
a
out."
piece.
What is it? According to XL magazine, Drake rented out a stadium to have a dinner party to celebrate winning Artist of the Decade award from the Billboard Music Awards.
I guess I'm not surprised. That just seems like something he would do.
Yeah, apparently it was a 70,000 capacity stadium he rented out to have dinner on the 50-yard line.
With how many people? Because if it was like a handful, that's excessive. But then again, it's Drake.
I'm going to assume that it wasn't a lot.
I want to know how much he paid to rent it.
I don't really care.
I'm just curious, like how much that cost him. I doubt they're gonna tell you, but like I would love to know, just for the sake of knowing.
Yeah, I don't know how many people were there. It looks like they don't say how much he paid.
You don't talk about being extra. Just look at that.
Or the stadium. Amazingly enough.
Yeah. You want to talk about being extra? Just look at what people in the hip hop realm do.
Somehow I wound up looking at the wrong article.
Oh, good job.
There we go. That's why I couldn't find any information. Just thinking to myself, this is a terrible article.
Well, it's the wrong one. That's why. I'll still not tell you.
I'm scrolling and occasionally getting ads that are
That's
causing the words to keep moving away from me.
awesome. We can always find it later.
Yeah.
Possibly. But yeah, no, like I said,
Possibly.
I would just, for the sake of knowing, like sheer curiosity, I would love to know how much he paid to rent that 70,000 seat stadium for a dinner party. Like, all right. Bruce, do you have any news?
Nothing.
No? Okay.
Nothing of interest, really.
I had the Slipknot thing. That was about it.
Oh, and Jay-Z says that he boycotted the Grammys because they disrespected DMX. Which, I mean, it's the Grammys. They disrespect
Everybody.
everybody.
Whether they're dead or not.
Exactly.
That's why no one likes the Grammys anymore.
Yeah. They're also out of tune with music.
Yes. More so than Billboard.
Mm.
Well, Billboard goes off of streams and
Oh, I was referring...
fudge numbers.
I was referring to Panic at the Disco being
Oh, yeah.
under rock when it's clearly a pop album with prayer, praise, or was
Yeah, you're talking about like their like genre Pacific charts that are just what the hell? How?
yeah.
How does this qualify as rock? Explain to me, sir.
Well, it's clearly a pop song. That was funny. That was funny as hell. But I do believe that is going to wrap up the latest installment of the Music Shack podcast.
I believe so.
So, yeah, this will conclude episode 46. Thank you to everybody who tunes in weekly. And for anybody new here, yes, we do this weekly. We do this once a week. If you liked what you heard this time, go ahead and check out our previous ones, because there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot we have each week. And even on our weaker episodes, we still have a lot to take away.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I said, if you enjoyed this one, please be sure to check out our previous episodes. But yeah, we'll see you guys next week, and enjoy the noise.
Yeah. Don't forget to look for brand new noise to listen to. And player, one love, mosh and rave responsibly. Bruce.
And happy Pride Month.
There you go.
There we go! Bruce said something at the end! Woo!
Something that made sense.
I have
anyway.
something to say for an entire month.